Cassie here at the museum. And some people are going, we had a museum in Chaffee Crossing, yes, since 2008. Some people call it the Elvis Barbershop Museum, some people call it the Haircut Museum, some people call it the Elvis Museum in Fort Smith. But I just wanted to tell you what the name is. And there used to be two museums, but they actually merged. So here we have the Chaffee Crossing Barbershop and Military Museum. You're gonna learn about Elvis, where he got his iconic GI haircut, and then you're also gonna learn about a bunch of rich history from just the military base that's been here since 1941. And then the big thing that's really near and dear to my heart are the refugee stories right here out of Chaffee. We had 50,000 Indochina refugees here in 1975. We're coming up on that 50th anniversary. We also had Cuban refugees that were here. We also had people after Katrina that came here, and then the training facility site. So want to learn something? It's a free museum open to the public. We've been here since 2008. It's 2025. Bring your family, we'd love to see you. Let's go inside and I'll show you a little bit inside the museum. Welcome to the inside of the museum. This is the original barbershop space. Not a lot of changes happened with this space, but more education was added. So if you notice the walls, we've colorized some of the pictures. This amazing volunteer, shout out to Austin Coates. He is a volunteer who colorized these photos. And when we colorized it, we didn't realize he was just sitting there casually with his legs crossed. And he had striped socks on. So just some of those little details that are kind of fun to see. But this is the space. So when you look at the backgrounds, you can see this is the exact room. This wall's here, the wall's still over there. When you come into this space, you wanna start over here. We've got, of course, my military folks, you'll notice this, DD-214. This is what every soldier gets when they leave the military, and it has all of their information. So it has their blood type, it has what ranks they were when they exited, their net service. So he was 1 year, 11 months, 12 days. So this is all the info. There is a little bit of controversy on his middle name. So Elvis Aaron Presley, this is his DD-214, spells it A-R-O-N, and his birth certificate spells it A-R-R-O-N. So you'll have to decide which Aaron you want to go with. And then this is one of my favorite items. This is a letter that was written to President Dwight Eisenhower from 3 teenage girls out of Montana, and they are just begging him, please, please, President, do not cut his sideburns off. We will just die. It's really fun if you read it in a teenage girl voice, because it has lots of the likes. Even in the 50s, the girls were talking with lots of the likes, and we'll just die, and you really don't see why you have to have him do this and why you have to send him into the Army. President Eisenhower did not pardon his sideburns. Just a little bit of history. Over here, we've got our timeline with Fort Chaffee, Arkansas. Famous haircut at the barbershop happened in March 25th, 1958. And he was here through March 28th. And then he took that test to decide what job would you have in the Army. And his job was going to be working with tanks, and that best training would happen at Fort Hood. So he went to Texas from Fort Smith, was in Fort Hood. Here's some of his patches. These are replicas, but these are the patches and the different medals and things that he did receive while he was in the service. This is our Elvis mannequin. You can take your picture with him. You can get your friends to take your picture with him. We've had a lot of people, they'd like to kiss his cheek. I don't recommend it, but you do you. But this is Elvis. He is wearing, this is what his uniform would have looked like when he was here. This is our Elvis Barbershop. These are our chairs. All of these chairs were donated or on loan from different individuals in the community. And then this is the famous place where Elvis got his haircut. So this is the station that the barber was at. This is not the chair, but you don't have to tell anybody that. But you're welcome to have a seat in it, get your picture taken with Elvis getting his haircut. So the military side of Chaffee. What is Chaffee? Why was it here? This is what this part of the museum is going to talk to you about. This is our 1930s, 1940s homestead porch. It talks a lot about Pleasant Valley. Welcome to the River Valley. You're going to learn about the people who were here before Chaffee was here, and what was happening here, what kind of towns, what was life like. And then once the Army came in, they did purchase a lot of the land from the homesteaders and the different communities here. They needed to build an Army base. This man right here is General Chaffee, and he fought in World War I and came back and said, we are not done fighting those Germans, and we are gonna get our butts kicked next time if we do not mechanize our warfare. We cannot go into our next war on horseback. And then here we've got our World War II area. This place, this is our tanker. He's got his grease gun, he's ready to go. This is actually what one of the uniforms would have looked like. Parts of these actually were in World War II. But come on in, and he's kind of guarding the base as you come in. As you come in, you're gonna learn about the 3 large units that were here at Fort Chaffee. We had the 14th Armored Division. You're gonna learn about the different divisions that were here at Fort Chaffee. We've got the 14th Armored Division, we have the 6th Armored Division, and the 16th. Those of you that have seen Masters of the Air, you remember at the end when they liberated and saved those prisoners? The 14th, so these are the guys that did it. Okay, home front after World War II. What did the home front look like here in Fort Smith? The soldiers had a prettiest waitress contest going on. So they would go and find who they thought were the prettiest waitresses, and then you can read a little bit about that. And then talking about just that home front, some of the weddings that happened here on base, what war ration books looked like, what some of the sweetheart jewelry looked like, some of the letters that were keeping the families informed, and all those love stories. And then I do want to show you this quilt. This quilt is pretty amazing. It's from a gal named Rosie Young. She was in the laundry here at Chaffee, and when guys would come in and they would be switching units, or they would come in and their patches would just fall off, she would help switch out the patches for them, but also she started collecting the ones that had fallen off, and this is our folk art blanket. It's got patches from all over, and it's not just the Army. There's patches represented from all different branches, and some of them are very, very rare. So those of you that are my patch experts, look right here at these 2 patches. Notice the difference. This patch is what they used after. This was the original patch of the Tank Crushers. You can see the detail in there. This one was really hard to replicate, so then they switched it over to a different patch. So you'll have to see if your patch is represented. If not, we are starting to collect more patches, and they're gonna be up on top coming soon. So if your patch is not in here and you'd like for it to be represented, just bring it on down and we're gonna add it. This is one of my favorite places. It's called Stories Embedded in the Walls. So these are lots of different patches, lots of different wallets. We found over 27 wallets in the walls. This is an interactive, this is an M1 rifle. So people can see how heavy they are. They're 9 pounds, 4 ounces. And this is the weapon that was used all through World War I, and through the 70s they were using these. This is our switchboard from Chaffee. Here it is in action. I believe this is in the 50s with the ladies using it. We've got the Rolodex. This Rolodex is from the base, and if you look, there's some pretty important numbers. We've got the Pentagon's number in here, Worldwide Locator, Department of the Army. Okay, and then as you're heading towards the end of the exhibits, this is our Indochina exhibit. Talks a lot about those 50,000 refugees that were here after the fall of Saigon. And then what is Chaffee today? Fort Chaffee continues to serve the local community. It is a joint maneuver training facility. We've got our soldier here. This is called an Aussie rappel, coming down the wall head first. Only Rangers do that now in the Army. But you can learn about the things that are happening at Chaffee today. And then before you head out, make sure that you stop at the gift shop. We've got so many great items. We've got these great recycled bags made out of old Army tents. And you gotta get your hair today, gone tomorrow Elvis tote. But we have something for everybody. Lots of kids' toys, and just in, we have our Uncle Sam bottle openers and our challenge coins. And challenge coins have a lot of history within the Army and within the military. And you give these to people who you really respect, or people who really are special to you. And when you hand it to them, you put them in your palm and you shake their hands, and that's how they take those coins. And lots of people have different collections. So if you need your Fort Chaffee Challenge coin, these are brand new here. We hope to see you guys. This museum is open on Tuesdays through Saturday. We run off of volunteers. If you're looking for a place to volunteer, come on down. We need lots of different help. If you have family in town and you just want to give them a nice, fun experience, bring them on down. We'd love to see and share the history of Fort Smith. We're so proud to be a part of this community and to be able to help share that history.